Hello, everyone, and welcome to Generation 10. I'm Dino the Genetic Marvel, one of your hosts. With me, as always, is not Caleb, but
I'm Atlas Novak, and I am sweating behind my knee pits. It's too hot. I didn't even know knee pits existed until this summer. Our guest today, she's a good friend of mine. Also, dying in the heat. Welcome, Heather Marulli, everybody.
Thanks. I'm here. Happy Sunday for those who celebrate, and to those who don't.
Yeah.
just Sundays in general. I feel like that's a certain type of person.
I mean, it's a day of rest, and I'm a recovered Catholic, and you know what they used to say, it's the Lord's Day, but I just consider this a day of doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you can.
It used to be the only weekend day until unions got a Saturday. So.
Yeah. Oh.
Listen, up until I had this conversation with someone the other day. Oddly enough, in the drive-thru at Starbucks, how there was a time when I was growing up that on Sunday you could take a cannon and shoot it down the main street of Toronto because no one was downtown. Like everything was shut down on Sundays, and there was no people anywhere. That was an anomaly. People were like, "Go downtown on Sunday." Like, to do what? For a crime or something? There's nothing. Nothing is there. Now it's insane. But
wait. You said you had a conversation with somebody in the drive-thru at Starbucks?
Yes, we both remembered how different it was because it
was
Sunday.
No. I'm saying, the whole point of the drive-thru is you don't have to talk to anybody. You show up, give them your order, and then get your thing and leave.
Man,
or did you talk to the guy in the speaker?
Listen. Okay, you got to understand. I survived the pandemic, and my comedic charm survives because of the drive-thru. Okay, I would drop shtick every time I went through. Okay, the reason it's taking long, it's me, and I don't care. That's the luxurious part about my Starbucks order.
Oh my god, Christ!
I'm the problem. You're welcome.
Well, he's the worst.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's mid-August. It's the worst month. There's no holiday to look forward to. It's hot.
Well, Labor Day.
That's not a holiday. That's
the worst. That is the worst holiday, though. Have you ever gone somewhere on Labor Day? It's always packed, and everyone is unhappy.
Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, I still can't believe I did this, but it was September 2020, and I went to Palm Springs alone, and I remember everybody was still kind of scared, still didn't know what the virus was doing and all that stuff, and I went to a casino and just got drunk alone.
That sounds really fun.
I guess, but hold on. That was the hottest. I remember this. This was the hottest day recorded in Palm Springs in history.
Oh, let's see how hot that was.
I think it was 130, maybe? I want to say 120? It's between 120 and 130. Look it up. I don't know if the record has broke. I thought it felt good.
I love this.
You're definitely a murderer. Okay,
because it's a dry heat, so it's not
it's on a barbecue. Let's just what?
Okay, first off, I just want to say that the name of this website that I'm looking at is called cactushugs.com. Okay. So we're off to a good start. 123 degrees, the hottest temperature recorded in Palm Springs.
And what day was that?
July 29, 1995, July 28th, 1995. August 1st, 1993, and July 10th, 1979.
Okay, now hold on a second. That's not right. Look up.
Hey, how dare you, Alice, and call out some exaggeration by a fellow comic?
I don't think it was. It was literally on the news. They were like, "This is record temperature." I remember this. Maybe it was the record temperature in Death Valley that weekend or something.
No, you know what? It's last time it was updated was 2017, of course.
Oh my god. Okay.
Hang on.
Palm.
You're using Bing again, aren't you, Atlas? You're using Bing to do your searches.
No,
Bing is for high.
Bing is for murder.
2020. Hold on.
That's fantastic.
Okay, well, no, so it went up. So in July 2021 was the record that was broken.
Oh man!
And it was 123.
That's crazy.
On June 17th, 2021. But I remember when I was there, they kept saying, like, oh, there's a heat wave, or you're possibly going to break the record. It was about 120. I remember that.
I just like how they're almost excited about it. They're like, we're going to break the record.
Yeah.
Oh
Well.
Yeah, those kind of days are the sort of thing where you walk outside and you almost can't believe it. Like, it can't be this hot. No.
You
It's
get
like
used
96,
to it.
right?
You get used to it immediately. Yeah. Well, not immediately.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit.
50
like,
degrees Celsius? Oh my god.
Oh, I forgot you guys use
Canadian.
Celsius up there.
Yeah.
It's not just Canadian. It's the rest of the universe.
No, I know. We're the
everyone
only,
everywhere
the only
but you guys.
Look,
Okay?
I'm just going to say that the one thing that Celsius doesn't do, like, objectively correct is just weather. Because saying it's 40 hot doesn't really convey it, you know?
It's 32 cold does?
Yes, compared to it's 100 hot. When someone goes, oh my god, it must be, like, 100 is a
100
big
is
number
hot.
to shoot for.
No, 100 is hot.
Yeah.
But why is 100 temperature hot, dingus? It's 100 hot is 100 hot everywhere. Okay? But 40 is also hot.
But 40 doesn't feel, like, just doesn't have that.
Are you saying Celsius is racist? Because I really don't feel that's very fair.
At what point did race come into that?
I just assume you're young. You're going to accuse me of it eventually during this episode.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Fine.
Yeah, I don't understand
Caleb does that.
the Celsius thing either. Like, so 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling?
Yeah.
It starts off when you have free healthcare, and it just gets worse over the years. I'll tell you that.
Okay, okay, here it is. September 6th, 2020. 118 degrees.
100. Oh my god. Like, so we used to go to Florida regularly when I was young, and the hottest I ever experienced would have been, okay, so let's see, it's in Fort Lauderdale, would have been in the late 80s, early 90s maybe, and it would have been like 105, and we were like, whoa, it's insane! Like, it blew our minds.
Yeah. Okay, actually, so here it is. September 5th, 2020. That's a Saturday. 121 degrees.
There it is.
And I was there. I stayed at the Hilton. Is it the Hilton? Yeah, I remember because it was horrible. It was the worst Hilton I've ever been to.
The horrible.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It should not be in the portfolio. So.
That's the reason I lost my virginity in the Hilton. That's pretty fair.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Wow.
It was on my wedding night. I'm a weirdo.
That's nice. I did not lose
His
mine
parents
in
were
a
Jehovah's Witnesses. That's why.
hotel.
It's not the point. It was my first wife and not my second. But anyways, continue.
Oh, you've 2 wives? Okay.
No!
Not at the same time.
No, I know not at the same time. I'm just saying.
I like
okay,
to disappoint women one at a time, Heather. One at a time.
I mean, I've never been married yet, so I don't know.
It's horrible, but it's better than being single. It's, you know, like, the only thing worse than marriage is not marriage. It's like having kids. There's nothing worse than having kids.
I don't think there's
only
anything
not
wrong.
having kids.
No, I don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with being single. I think the worst thing is to be in a relationship that is like you're lonely in and is horrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I definitely agree with you there, but also that can open up roads to like murder and things that you wouldn't experience otherwise. So you never really know what might happen in a relationship.
No, well, yeah. I mean, I just like the worst times of my life. I was in a relationship.
It seems like that's a you problem. You need a better judge of. You need someone to come with you to say, no, veto, no. Like you have your selection process is off.
That's not really what it is. But if you say so.
Listen,
one thing I like about my and Caleb's generation is that we're getting rid of the like old ball and chain.
I don't understand what is the split here? Like, what is the age split?
I think the age split is like, well, it's more of like a gradient. It's not like once you were born, like after 1974.
No, what year were you born in, Atlas?
94.
Okay. And you?
I'm born in 1980.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look a lot older than you. And I feel a lot older too.
I'm right.
I feel around 97. That's
yeah, I was born in 1987.
You're a child. That's what you are. Come on.
No.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
You're a newly minted adult. Barely, okay? You just started. That's all you got. Okay?
Good. I'm glad.
That's fair. Well, like, it's the worst when you're a kid. I've been explaining to Atlas, and I'm like, you don't understand. It's a whole other ball game as you get older, you know? And people get crazier. My goodness. It is unbelievable.
As you age?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, for sure. I mean, because people's, like, their mental illness, like, comes to the surface.
It's been fun during the pandemic watching people
And
my age who are going, oh, that's not going to age well. And they're like, yeah, no, I'm a hat person. You're like, nah, man.
You're watching it and like you knew it the whole time, and you're like, wow, that is so Raven.
Well, listen, back before the pandemic, you had the opportunity that you could, your friend would wear a hat out and you'd go, hey, who's the weirdo with a hat? And they go, oh, I thought it was cool. And then you grab it, you turn it inside out and you say, you're a loser. Don't do that again. And then the hat problem is over. But now people have had like 2.5 years to collect all these hats that they want to wear. And now they're happy. People have really adopted some very specific things during the pandemic.
Where did that whole, like, hats used to be the norm, right? For guys, like, you're just out in public, you're wearing hats.
Wear a hat?
Yeah, just like the fedoras and all that. And
if
then,
you didn't, you were a communist or something.
Yeah, and then, like, after, like, the 60s, all of a sudden, no one was wearing hats. No one was doing the, like...
Yeah, it's probably, like, a counterculture.
You had to fight the power. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think late 60s, people were like, we're not wearing hats. Like,
hey, remember, you also had a generation of, like, people went bald, and then the rumor is like, well, if you wear a hat too often, you'll go bald. So everyone's like, don't wear a hat! We're all into bald!
Yeah, there's also that... You know, what it is that more balding people like hats. And so that's what the...
Oh, you presume it's a chicken or the egg thing, eh? That's fair.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It's creative. I enjoy
every guy I've ever dated who was, like, kind of balding or starting to always wore a hat.
See,
always.
So I didn't really realize how bald I was until about 6 months into the pandemic, and I was like, oh no, I'm bald. That's fine. It's done. No problem. But I'm also taller than people, so I'm like, man, you're all just
don't look up.
Me. Yeah, I'm taller. It doesn't make a difference.
No,
as long as they like this, I'm like, hey, look.
Yeah, I think people should not, like, they should just lean into it. They shouldn't, try to hide it or,
Be like Colin Mockery from Whose Line Is It Anyway? He leaned into his baldness with grace and pride.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are definitely words you could use.
I went to the Improv Theater in Canada where he started.
Really?
In Vancouver. Him and Brian Stiles. No, it wasn't that one. It was called something like, not like Comedy Olympic or something. It was in Vancouver.
They're all weird in Vancouver. Everyone. Yeah. Trust me, I'm surrounded by either weirdos in Vancouver or Montreal, and you're like, well, both weirdos. Both weirdos. Yeah.
I mean, I've only been to Canada one time, so.
Hey, don't worry. It's still here. It's probably the same. It's not really
Canada. It's still here.
It's still here. That's kind of the motto. It's like still comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like a good couch. You don't want to get rid of it. It's a good couch, but at the same time, styles change.
They should put like Leif Erikson's ghost on it, right? Canada, still here.
It's a good motto.
Come on. Why don't we ask Heather some questions?
It's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Okay.
So this first one, what's an embarrassing song from your playlist?
Well, I couldn't just pick one. So I went with an artist who overall, like, people think is like crazy. And
like, you're gonna have to narrow it down because there's quite a few these days.
No, do you know who Azealia Banks is?
Yes.
The name rings a bell.
First things first on the realist?
That's Iggy Azalea, I thought.
What?
No.
Who?
Iggy Azalea is a white Australian rapper. Azealia Banks.
Oh, Azealia Banks
is a black rapper and singer from Harlem.
Yeah.
And she makes a lot of like house music and like house beats and stuff. And her big song that was like a huge hit for her was called 212. And the thing about her is she's like constantly in feuds with people. Like she's in feuds with like almost every celebrity. Like she's in a feud with I mean, what's a good example? She has like a Wikipedia section about feuds or something.
Of course.
Azealia Banks, American rapper. Why did I know
Disputes
her?
and controversies
Oh,
is
I
what
know.
it's called.
Okay.
Oh, Elon Musk, yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
Elon Musk picks fights with everybody because he wants to be cool so bad.
Right, yeah, no.
Yeah. She has in the table of contents. She has number 4 is disputes and controversies.
Right, yeah.
Is it like a tab on on her Wikipedia, or is it like
no? It's a
Yeah.
section. It's a
Okay.
section.
Yeah. It's above discography and just after
Yeah.
personal life.
Okay,
But,
so
like, quite honestly, though, like, I think to make like great art, you do have to be unwell. Like, I think you do.
Yeah.
like the more I've like been in the creative world and the art world and seen the people who are really they really have it. It's like they're not well. Yeah.
I'm gonna one up you, Heather, and say that they have to at one point have been not well. I think
Okay.
that's because
at the
otherwise
least, yeah.
it's not looking good. It's not looking good for me. That's
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't think people are making like driving songs about like
Stop.
I don't know. I took a walk today because I'm feeling good about my position in life. Like that's not good.
Well,
music.
no, I mean it's not just
Well,
that.
we
Like, you
can
just need
celebrate
to
good
have,
things in
like,
life.
you just
Yeah.
need to be a little like off. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, for example, like with like Azealia Banks, there's obviously something off about her, and she's a Gemini though, but she's like very like always trying to beef with people, you know, like very aggressive, but her music like really speaks for itself. Like she is a musical genius for sure. She has this she had a recent single come out that was really good. It's called Fucking Him All Night. And it's a good like house music song. I don't know. Do you guys listen to house or like
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
techno or like
Yeah, I'm just
rave
going through
music
her.
or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm
LCD
just going
sound
through her
system?
stuff.
Yeah, that's like about it. Daft Punk.
Yeah, but I have like pretty much everything she's ever done on my
It's pretty dope.
playlists.
So, Heather, in your
Yeah.
future, when you do murder someone, how do you feel it's going to go down? Just, I'm saying.
I have a lot of self control. I don't know why you think I would do that. Like,
Why you would admit it on the show? Yes, I thought I would get you, but no, that's okay.
no, I don't have any like tendencies like that. If anything, I would be the one being a victim because I'm so like passive in all of my personal relationships, and which is hard to believe for people because I'm very domineering socially.
Very
Yeah.
bombastic. Very
Yes.
loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in a interpersonal relationship, I am a doormat.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? Listen, that happened.
Yeah, I know, but no, I mean, I've kind of like solved it, and it doesn't help me. Like,
What, knowing that?
just being self-aware, like it ruins everything. Like,
No, it doesn't. Oh
Yes,
my
it does.
god.
Yes, it does.
It can.
No. Hey,
Yes, it
hey.
does. I do a bit about this. I do a bit where I talk about like how, you know, now because I have like self-esteem and self-respect and, you know, all the stuff. I just like, you can't get dick when you're like that. Your sex life is in shambles as soon as you fix everything.
Like,
Shambles.
Not
Fair.
a bad album name. Sex Life in Shambles.
Mm.
it's probably taken though.
That could
seems like-
be. That could be. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna write that down as an idea for a comedy album
Take
for
it,
a
yeah.
title. Yeah, because I have a running list of them.
Self-esteem
when I-
ruins everything.
For
That's
when I
also-
do an
list
album.
of band names, but that's neither here nor there.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a horrible statement in general.
Why?
Let's be honest. That
What?
self-esteem ruins everything.
Oh. No, just ruins your sex life.
It ruins your sex life. Yeah, for sure. I know tons of people who would agree with me.
It's kind of a bummer.
And like, if you have no self-esteem, you're gonna be having. Yeah, I had tons of sex when I had no self-esteem.
Okay, now it's starting to sound like 40-year-old versions. So I had tons of sex when I had self-esteem. Yeah, totally.
When I had
Bag
no
of sand.
self-esteem, when I had no self-esteem, I had tons of sex.
Oh, okay.
Now I barely have sex.
But was it good sex? Quality over quantity. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody really. The thing about like good sex is like, well, most people are bad at it, and it takes like it. You have to be with a partner for a while for it to become good sex. I think that good sex is about like knowing what someone likes and responding to whatever's happening. What is this podcast about? I'm like so like. Are we talking?
It goes where it goes, man. Generational differences.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, listen, we're talking about this now, so
yeah, we're talking about
it's now about this.
Now it's about this, and also, what's something you like to do because you're an adult and no one could stop you?
Oh my god!
I think we went through that list a little while ago.
Good sex is apparently the answer.
No, that question like really stumped me because I've pretty much been able to do whatever I want. Like,
yeah, that's the point. So it's like
as I remember.
Oh, for as long as you can remember.
Yeah, I mean, when I became an adult, like there wasn't really something that I was like, oh my god, now I can finally like do this thing that's bad, or like I don't know, like have a drink before noon. Have a little cocktail before noon.
Heather, I'm not sure if you're a degenerate or a prude. I'm not sure which way it's going both ways. I don't know anymore.
I contain multitudes. Okay, I'm a modern Walt Whitman. Okay, and I contain multitudes. So I can be a prude and a fucking drunk or whatever. But I'm sober right now, so
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
Tits,
no, I'm doing this thing called practicing sobriety, which was Wait, did you watch the Sex and the City revival by any chance?
No.
Okay. Well, there's an episode.
Just the original run, but
no, there's this episode where Miranda, like, she's like, the thing about her, she's like a drunk, right? So she like orders this book, in the middle of the night, and it arrives, and she's like, I don't remember ordering this. And what it was a book about how to get sober as a woman, and it's a real book. It's called Quit Like a Woman.
Okay.
And I bought the book and I read it, and there's so many things in there that I agree with, and it annoys me because like I know eventually I'll have to be sober because of my moral code. Yeah, because the premise of the book is that alcohol and the act of drinking is anti-feminist, and I agree with that.
Interesting.
Yeah, for a number of reasons.
Well, okay, for a starter, alcohol is just bad for everyone in general.
It's
the worst.
It's like the worst thing you could put into your body, and it's so normalized.
Well,
it's really interesting.
When you figure out the reason was because we kept on shitting in all our water, so we couldn't drink that, so we had to drink booze.
Well,
it's
I
horrible,
know about
right?
that. Yeah, like they had to like sort of because that was like back in like medieval times or something, they would all drink like this like a light beer, a very light beer.
Listen, that's the crazy part is it's not like that long ago. Sadly. It's still like you're like, oh, it's 100 years. You're like, yeah, that's like your great grandparents. Yeah, they were the ones who were like booze all the time. Is that a baby? Put a beer in its mouth. Like,
wait, but when did they figure out that you can like boil water and like it would?
Well, it's not just that, but
long time ago. I'll send you there's a thing I watched about the history of beer. I'll send it to you. It's
actually really cool because the same idea was like a soft drink is no booze. Like that's the whole idea.
But now in the modern world we live in,
we realize booze.
We
is
have
the worst.
we have water we can drink.
Mm-hmm. Most places. Let's be honest.
But like beverage companies, like these like alcoholic beverage companies and soft drink companies, they're like constantly just like
destroying everything.
Drink that. Drink this.
For sure.
It's like so crazy. Every day is like Modelo time.
Have you ever? Oh, that's number one. I can't disagree with that. But
that's an episode title right there.
That's for sure. Write that down. Write that one down.
It's like in American culture. I don't know what it's like in Canada. I don't know. Is there like basically like a drinking culture?
Oh, absolutely, there is.
Okay.
There's no question. Remember, the majority of Canada is like Middle America, right? They're just bumpkins, right? We have like 6 cities ish that actually have people, and even then, most of them are just assholes anyway. So
I see.
It's pretty much very, very comparable. We're a little more polite, but also a little ruder in some weird kind of polite way. But that's basically the same thing. But the whole idea is that, people booze it, and you're going, it's a lot better if your parents got high. There's a better chance that you didn't get the shit kicked out of you.
Alcohol, the way alcohol is marketed as like a it's a
good
treat.
Time,
it's a
and,
treat,
girls,
or it's like time for a cold beer. It's about like the working class like being rewarded for their work, right? And it's like, oh, here's this Bud Light. I've been waiting all day for this shit, and it's like propping up like this corporate structure that oppresses us and also is destroying our internal organs. Like
that
slowly.
goes all the way back to the Roman Empire.
Yeah, isn't that like kind of? It's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But
yes.
I like getting drunk once in a while. Yeah.
Of course. See, but that's the difference. Okay, there's nothing like I'm high as off my tits right now. Okay,
right,
great.
Yeah.
Okay, but the fact is, my bills are paid, everything's taken care of. I'm good. I don't really care.
No, I know, but like I also, I've never had an issue where I'm like, drinking or getting high or whatever, and my life has gone completely off the rails. But that happens with so many other people where like they just like can't drink or they can't get high, otherwise everything fucking falls apart. And
like crazy, like it's insane.
Yeah,
I've seen it a couple times, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's weird.
I've known lots of addicts, not just like in comedy, but like like in life. Like
other real people.
Yeah, in my family, like in my hometown, just like people who have been like destroyed by alcohol abuse and like all kinds of things.
Where are you from?
I don't know. I grew up in Colorado Springs, but I'm originally from Queens, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Interesting.
Yeah. Colorado Springs is definitely a booze town. Have you ever been to Colorado, either of you?
I've been to Denver, and I visited CSU Boulder and Fort Collins when I moved into colleges. I didn't like stay there.
Huge drinking culture in those towns, and in Denver. Also in Colorado Springs, like there's so many bars there, it's crazy. Like anywhere you go, there's like a fucking dive bar, like in a strip mall somewhere. And every time I go back to Colorado Springs, there's like less stuff to do. It's not like in Los Angeles where there's like nice theaters, like places to go see live entertainment, and nice restaurants and all kinds of different museums, things like that. They don't have that, so like people go get fucked up. So like every time I go there, I go play in these like free poker leagues that they have in bars.
Awesome. That sounds awesome.
No, it's fun. It's so fucking fun. And also, like, most of the people who do it are just, like, normal fucking people who, like, they're, like, and I hate to sound like I'm, like...
I don't think so. I hate they're normal.
They are. No, what I'm saying is, like, I'm not, like, an anthropologist or anything, but these people are, like, they're, like, the actual, like, this is, like, the working class, Like, these are... It sounds so
By an anthropologist's definition, these are the working class.
No,
I'll be honest with you. I feel like we've hit a new high on this show with that kind of verbiage.
No, because
more like a new drunk.
Here's the thing. Because Colorado Springs is a very like conservative town. It's very like it's very like Trumpish.
Sure.
But Colorado overall is like blue. It's a blue state. But this is like a pocket. This is a county where it's very, very conservative. And it's just interesting to me every time because, when you're in Los Angeles, like so many people I know, they're these like liberal elitists and they're like, I would never go to Oklahoma, or I would never go, like name a place, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, I would never fucking go there. But like, when you go to these places, you talk to these people, these are just like normal people who are like trying their best, and so that's why I don't have this like big thing. Like I hate like the fact that this entire world seems to be like a culture war now. Like everything's like, oh, people on the left do this and people on the right do that. it's like really like fucked up and crazy.
Heather,
Like people,
as a Canadian,
yeah.
I'm watching it and I'm like, you guys are all
Oh
nuts.
no,
Like
something's
it's
wrong, right? It's
like
so crazy.
the best part is where you're going, hold on.
Yeah,
You're gonna tell me your best choices are those two candidates
right.
from all the people.
Oh,
There
well,
isn't a
I
baby
mean,
that we could put a baby. Could we take a
I mean,
baby
this
and make it
this
president?
leads back to
Right?
what we were talking about with like alcohol and stuff. It's about corporate
This is
interests, right? All
that's silly.
politicians, they're propped up by corporate interest and lobbyist money.
Look, see, this
That's
is
why
the
this
problem.
country is so fucked.
It's
Citizens United, man. That's
listen. We should burn it down. I'm just gonna say that. I feel like, and not like, hey, let's have a Saturday night. Be like, listen, it's just this isn't working, right? Like, you guys get taken advantage of a lot. Like, in
Well,
not
that's the
just
thing.
like one way.
People don't see it that way.
See, like we don't have a lot of like we have a lot more strict rules, but you guys get screwed so bad. Like education, screwed.
Right.
Economy,
Well, that's
definitely
the thing. And
screwed. Right.
education is demonized by like the alt right. People who are on the like this side, they're like, oh yeah, these liberals and their books, and they go to college and they get radicalized as libtards.
Yeah, I have
like
literally been called
it's
college
yeah.
as an insult, right? Like
Yeah,
someone
no,
calls you college.
it's considered stupid to be smart. Look at it. It's like, oh, you're smart.
So
You read a fucking book. You're a fucking loser. They hate that.
listen, the problem is that people have become they claim to be higher educated, but all they have is an English degree. You're like, that's not a higher education, right? No, fuck you. You're not good. And are either of you writers professionally? No.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Okay, you are. Then you're fantastic. But you, Atlas, how dare you? No, but I'm saying is this.
No, I also minored in history, but that's something else. Anyway.
I was an English and history double major.
Listen.
Oh, you too.
What do you think of
awesome.
that? Yeah. I'm an intellectual for sure.
All right, let's just ask for the third question.
Listen,
the third question?
I think we've gotten to a point here where
What was the time where you felt like the adults in the room were grown up?
Oh my god. I mean, this is like a depressing answer, but when I was a child, I felt like an adult because both of my parents were they were, I don't know how to explain it. My mom recently passed away, so I've had a lot of time to be thinking about like what her deal was. She was a good mom, but like my father was a total like narcissist, like a total raging narcissist who it was all about him. I didn't get something. Oh, I'm gonna make life hard for my entire family for this whole week or whatever. But I remember like my parents, like they like loved to play the lotto. They loved to play the lotto. They would play the lotto twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays, without fail. They did it like my entire childhood. And I just remember as a child thinking like, these people are so irresponsible. I remember like, what is with these people are raising me?
It's bad when
that is accurate. Like that's like let's be honest.
I was like, what is wrong with these people? And like they were also like really emotionally immature. Well, because that's what narcissism is basically like a stunting of your emotional growth, right? And so my father was very stunted, and my mom was a little stunted too. I would say she was more codependent on my father, and she just had like there was something. I think the thing about her is that she was never single like a day in her life until the last like 10 years of her life. Like she was always like married or in a relationship from the time she was like 17 to the time she was 59, and all of the guys were like horrible. These were like horrible men, and she's like, oh, your father, I know he yells a lot, but at least he never hit me. It's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, so like some guy's a good guy because he never hit you. Like, that's what she said to me. That's what she told me. And I was like, you're wrong. Like, you can be like,
she is, but also like, you know,
yeah.
Let her have that. God, come on, Heather.
No, I'm just saying. I don't know. There was another time where she like threatened, like, oh my God, is this too dark? Does this podcast get dark or like
it
what?
Dark from time to time.
Okay, so like
yeah.
here's another time when I was a child where I was like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Okay, like my sister and I, we were in the car, and I think my parents have been fighting about money again. What a shock! And my mom was saying, I'm going to kill myself. And you guys will go to the foster care system. And I was just like, what the? And my sister's 7 years old. She's crying, obviously. She's crying. Because, of course, she's a child. And
How old are you?
9. And
you're the mature one. Okay.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I feel like in some ways I was forced to mature more quickly, you know, like in certain ways. Like to know how to, like, you have to behave in a certain way to appease like an abusive parent, basically. So you have to like be more just like, okay, like go along with everything.
Okay, hold on. Those are not good qualities. Those are survival tactics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like,
I know.
What I'm talking about. I didn't say it's good.
No.
I didn't say it's good at all. I'm very aware of what was happening. Okay, but like I remember being 9 years old. I'm thinking, oh my God, like. What is this bitch is fucking crazy. like and even I think it even more so now at 35. And that's not even the first time. That's not the last time she threatened suicide, which is another emotional manipulation tactic that people like to use, you know, like especially but my therapist Regina, she thinks my mom was borderline, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not going to diagnose her.
Yeah.
But something was going on. Something was happening.
See, the craziest thing my mom ever said was she threatened to, and I quote, take us back to the baby store when we were little kids. And then the other thing was how she...
that's
yeah.
So many parents would say shit like that.
She was a lesbian.
So,
yeah. She's like, I wish I was a lesbian so I wouldn't, like, be married to your dad. They divorced when I was 10, right? So,
is she a lesbian?
No.
Oh, okay.
She just wanted to be one real bad instead
but sometimes that happens. Sometimes that's why people get divorced.
No, it's been 18 years since that sentiments, and
is she remarried?
No, she.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad remarried.
All right.
Yeah. But
I have a sneaking suspicion that she might be hiding it from you there, Atlas.
I have no comment. Okay.
Whatever. It
doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah. Like
I grew up thinking I was a weirdo until I started doing comedy. I'm like, I had such a great life. Yeah. I've had a fantastic.
Oh, you meet the worst. You meet the worst fucking people in comedy. Like these are like the worst people.
No, but Heather, like even just hearing people tell stories and stuff, and I'm just going, like it's good to because like having that realization that you're going, wait, none of this makes any fucking sense, right? Like, is a huge thing in growing up as a person, right? And the sooner you see it, the better it is. But that story is fucking gold. And please, for the love of God, make sure you tell that story or turn it into a bit or a sketch or something. Write a fucking pilot. God damn it, woman!
She's gonna kill herself.
Fucking listen. It's dark. Don't get me wrong, but it's great.
I have a bit about the other time she threatened to kill herself.
Listen. Write a pilot. I'm telling you.
No, I'm telling you about me.
Then you got to get that thing made because honestly,
that's actually a project I'm working on. I'm working on turning it into like I want to do a stage show and then a short film adaptation of it. So.
I feel like, that's pretty damn dark. It is pretty damn dark, but
also, I don't think that's the only person. I'm the only person that's ever happened to. You know, I think there's like so many things people don't talk about, and I think people would relate to it. You know,
I'll be honest with you, Heather. I think there are a lot of people that go through that, and it's really, really terrifying. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought anyone did. I was like, that's a crazy movie thing. But now I realize that, that's. Yeah. I am the weirdo. Like, I've been accused of hiding past traumas by other comedians. Like, no, you can't be funny. No, there's no way. No, you got something. I'm like, no, man. I had 2 parents and pretty great life.
I mean,
it's
you
great
don't
right now.
necessarily have to have trauma. You just have to kind of be like.
Well, I am still crazy. I am still crazy. Like, that's 100%.
Sure. Like, there has to be something, like, you can't be like, normal, a totally like straight-laced normal, like, I don't know.
Ned Flanders, whatever. Yeah.
Well, Ned Flanders would be really good at stand-up.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. Ned Flanders would, and it would have to go like super dark. But I'll be honest with you. Listen, I build Lego on the internet right now.
Wait,
so
is Ned Flanders dead, or did his wife die?
No, his wife
died. Yeah, I was like,
okay, I haven't watched The Simpsons in so long, but I remember I know his wife died. Yeah, but what an interesting character he was. I think
like a horse too. Apparently,
I saw like some picture where someone spray painted "Darn the Police" on like on the wall somewhere, and then someone goes, "Welcome to the movement, Ned Flanders." #ACAB. Like,
that's awesome. He should be celebrated.
Yeah. Darn the police, there, Diddlerino. Like.
Hey, listen, come on. That's a weird world out there, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Oh my god. So, how are you guys beating the heat?
Trying to be inert is one of the first steps. I ran some errands and it was a huge mistake because I was immediately dripping sweat. I started reading a book last night that I was. For years, I was hesitant to read it because I was like, "Oh, it's probably some overrated garbage."
What was the book?
Okay, it's Ant Kind by Charlie Kaufman. Have you heard of this?
No.
He wrote a novel.
Okay.
You're familiar with Charlie Kaufman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But just Ant Kind.
Okay, yeah. So it's a book. It's like 700 pages.
Okay.
Literally on the first page, I'm laughing so hard I can't breathe. It's so fucking funny. I'm like shocked.
Wow.
And I'm 10 pages in, and it's delightful. So I'm going to lay there, inert, and read the book.
Okay.
Oh, and also I have this ice face roller.
Does your place have AC?
No. No. So many places in LA don't have air conditioning.
They're like, we got central heating. For what? Like,
well, I mean, there's like 3 days a year where you might be cold.
Just wear a sweater.
No, I know. Yeah, like I do have like a little space heater for when it does get like chilly, but sadly, the majority of the year it's hot.
Yeah.
But it'll cool down soon. No, it won't.
Yeah, give it a few months. Season. That's what makes August just the worst, like, month because like at least from once you get past like April, because you have St. Patrick's Day being like big drinking holiday, blah blah blah.
Oh, I stay inside for that. Yeah. I don't go out.
And then from like April.
You could not pay me to go outside on that day.
But you got like Memorial Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day. That's like stuff you got to deal with most of the time, but it's something.
Not anymore for me.
That's true. And then just nothing. Fucking nothing.
Yeah.
In August.
Well, yeah, actually, I look at it like, oh, time for some good movies. That's when they drop the big ones,
Yeah. That's not like a season leading up to a holiday. There's no, they're not putting up decorations in stores or anything.
No. Yeah. But I mean, it'll soon be like fall and
Yeah, and like the next thing you're waiting for is Halloween. So it's just this like, it's just a shit month. Sorry, Dino, about your birthday, but like, I
had a great time. We had oysters.
Like,
it was fantastic.
We need like a "it's so hot, fuck everything" holiday, and like a ramp up to the season where they just like I don't know.
So we need a holiday in between the holidays.
Yes, yeah, because you have all the good holidays crammed together, and then just nothing for like 9 months, basically.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I don't know.
Halloween,
Now we
Thanksgiving,
get
Christmas,
at
New
my
Year's done.
job. Now we get Indigenous Peoples Day off from work.
Okay, that's
How about
something.
that?
Yeah,
Really?
That's
pretty
in
dope.
October. I mean, it's
But everybody gets it?
at my job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that weird?
You get Memorial Day off even if you're not a dead soldier. Veterans Day was the word I was looking for. You get Veterans Day off even if you're not.
Oh, yeah,
veteran.
Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's to celebrate veterans, right?
Yeah, so Indigenous Peoples Day is to celebrate the fact that we
it used to
To
be
celebrate Indigenous peoples? Is
There
that
is
what
no
you're
way
saying?
for me to say that right. I'm sorry.
It's to basically no longer say Columbus Day. Like, is the thing.
Well, yeah, I know Columbus Day, people, that's a very enraging thing,
And-
which I'm
and
like, oh, that
I'm
makes complete
supposed to
sense.
be-
It's about time.
crazy because I'm genetically conflicted because I'm half Italian.
Mhm.
And on my mom's side, I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban. So, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm pretty sure.
Crime. I think crime. Crime's the
Well,
answer.
I've said that to people before that, like, because I kind of like do a lot of
Organized crime?
detective work at my job.
There you go.
And
Just
slid
slid into it.
no, but I think I have like a good mind for it because of the like
a genetic disposition. Come
yes,
on.
because as a half Sicilian person, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know how they think. Like I know what's going
ingredient
on
is
there.
crime. Yeah.
Like, nobody hides it in the back of their shirt. It's in the front. Why? Because nobody looks at the crotch. But you look at the crotch and it's there. Ah!
This last year at work, we got Juneteenth off.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We did that too.
Yeah.
Why? That's you guys are weird. You guys are weird.
You know why Juneteenth is?
No, listen. You guys are making holidays with encumbrances. Be like, hey, go celebrate something important with this time off. Don't use it to recuperate. How dare you use it to?
They've literally never said that. They were just like, you get a day off on Monday.
No, it just it just recently became a federal holiday here, though.
Yeah. And that's good. Like for extra day off. Especially to celebrate the freeing of the slaves. I feel like
I feel like we should have a day for them. I think we should.
You know, you can't win on this. It's
we should have a month.
Yeah,
we do.
Just take June off.
Kind of.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Listen, okay. So can I just say from my perspective?
What?
Can I say it from my perspective
Go
a little
ahead.
bit? Because, like, think about it. You're getting a day off to celebrate that people are free, which you're like, that's a great thing. But it's kind of weird because, like, we should get a month off. It's like we're patting ourselves on the back for the right thing that was done in the past.
I don't think people are patting themselves on the back.
No, they got them to give themselves a day off. So
no, it's just that it was always a holiday celebrated by Black people. It's just now it's federal. It's like federally recognized as a holiday now.
It's weird. I'll tell you guys that much. It's as
Why?
an outsider, it's just like that's a unique choice.
Do you think MLK Day is weird?
No, celebrating your own history. It'd be weird if you would just assume that
the same fucking thing, you idiot.
The same idea.
No, because you're celebrating a person, right? Like, don't you guys have that? Like for
what do you mean?
Okay, explain to me how Halloween is celebrating a person. It doesn't always have to be a person.
Halloween is All Hallows Eve. It has nothing to do with Halloween.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying it's a holiday that doesn't celebrate a specific person. That doesn't make it any less of a holiday. Is all I'm saying.
No, but that's Halloween is a holiday. It's a harvest holiday. It has nothing to do with Halloween, right? That's a whole different. You majored in history. You should know better that Halloween's a real thing, sir.
I know. No, I'm saying
Christmas.
But I'm saying you're trying to discount Juneteenth because it's not about one specific person. Therefore, it shouldn't count. But it does count.
It's just an odd thing to celebrate. It's weird. It just. As an outsider,
Well,
listen,
the
as an
thing-
outsider who supported the
thing
Underground
I
Railroad.
do, there is something weird about it to me, where it is becoming like one of those like commercialized holidays, where like Target has
Doorbuster
like,
Juneteenth sales.
I don't like that stuff.
Bothers me. Yeah.
Like there's always like stupid sales on these like
Yeah,
federal
that's the
holidays.
winner. There we
like,
go.
Labor Day, Memorial Day. Well, they
Yeah.
don't really do like the other ones. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but like
those.
that's why it's yeah. Anyways, hey, listen. What's important is people moving in the right direction as a mindset, right? And
so my place, I have like a wall AC unit. That's it, no central, and in the living room, Katie and I have been sleeping in there instead of in the bedroom, which is where I am right now, because it's too fucking hot in here. So I've been using this as like an office, and then I sleep on the floor with all the bedding, and then she's on the couch. And my mom found out about this, and she got mad because you shouldn't be sleeping on the floor because, and I quote, "we've evolved past this." And I don't even know what that means necessarily. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's like not sweating to death at night, so count that as a win.
I feel like you get the better deal being on the ground. No.
Mm-hmm. I am honestly kind of liking it, and it's been really good for my back. But
yeah.
That's how I'm staying cool, is just sleeping directly in front of the air conditioner.
Yeah, totally reasonable.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why? What about you? How are you doing it? Staying in the basement?
Yeah, well, that's right. But our bedroom's in the basement, so it's easy.
Oh, your bedroom? And I didn't know your bedroom was in the basement.
Yeah. Well, we leave it because we leave my in-laws on the first floor, right? Just because it's easier to care for them and everything like that. So that way we stay in the basement. We have a little bit more privacy because the obstacle course that is the stairs is in the way, so it's nice and stay separate, right? Mm-hmm. But no, the idea. Let's be honest. If I'm too fat to be in non-air conditioned area, right? Like I go outside and I'm like, I'm gonna die. I can't. Like I walked into one mall and they just had fans going, and I'm like, absolutely not. I just walked out. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah, no, I couldn't. That's why like I travel. Like we went to Greece for our honeymoon, and we
Did
went.
You go to Mykonos?
No, I'm not a pervert. I'm Greek, but
yeah.
So where did you go?
To my house in Greece.
Where's that? In Athens or
no? So it's about 3.5 hours northwest of Athens.
Okay.
But so we did a lot of tourist travel and everything. But I did it in like end of September, early October, because I'm like, yeah, no, it's just too damn hot. Like I'll die. And especially like we were walking and everything. Man, I walked up to the Parthenon and it's so hot. We even did it early in the morning to make sure it would be like easier. It was brutal. It was a nightmare.
I was in Europe 3 years ago, and isn't there a heat wave there right now? Like, isn't it like hotter than usual? But like, I was there 3 years ago. I was in Italy and France, and it was like hot as fuck. Like, especially in Rome. Oh God,
Rome is insanely hot.
I never want to go there again. That was the worst city I've ever been to.
And Rome has a distinctive smell too, where it
smells like piss. Yeah. So no, it was also just like I had never been so like harassed in my entire life. Like I literally thought that I was going to get like R-worded and M-worded. So it was like so scary. Like some guy followed me off a train and followed me down the street. And I was like seeing if he was following me. I crossed the street, he follows me. I went into a store, he followed me. He followed me out. I was like so fucking scary.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Don't recommend it for a woman or anyone else for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. It's always weird when that kind of thing happens. Like I remember we went. When I brought my wife, she had never been to Greece. We had a great time, but at the same time, like I was always like holding her hand the entire time, and I speak Greek, so I'm like, we didn't have any issues in that fashion. But Oh God! I even told her.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, I can go do it myself." I'm like, "No, let's not. No, let's not
Yeah.
even.
No, I
Let's
mean,
not even pretend."
it was just like fascinating because because I'm half Italian. I'm like, yeah, like this. I'm so glad my ancestors fled this nightmare. Like, it's just like this is the worst place I've ever been, and they were right. And you know how like Rome almost burned down? Like they should have let it happen. They should have let that place fucking burn down because it's a nightmare.
I
And
actually
the ruins, they don't even care about they don't take care of the ruins. They don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, here's a
okay.
thing.
Sorry, it's very
They
funny. Just like the
don't.
ruins are in complete disrepair. Okay,
They're
you
not.
can't even hang out like
No,
a
that's the
bunch of.
problem. That's the problem is that
It's criminal.
people
It's
hang
criminal.
out around the ruins and they like throw trash everywhere, and it's like, what the
It's
fuck?
fucked up.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember one tour guide was explaining to people how they said number one was women were to hold their purses like this, but when you hold it like this, what they would do is come by and just with a razor blade cut the bottom of your purse, so everything falls out. So what you do is you put like cardboard at the
oh
bottom of
my
your purse
god,
to make sure, so even if they cut it, nothing
Jesus.
will fall out. It's to protect yourself, or even have a second purse inside your purse, so
Oh
that if
my
someone like
god.
just to be super safe about stuff and
Well,
like
because of the
yeah.
pickpocketing there, yeah.
That and like even the funny thing is like I've had people say how it's like, oh, it's not about if you'll get pickpocketed, or it's when you get pickpocketed. And I'm like,
mm,
oh, is that the case? They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going. And they're like, no, you should still go. And I'm like,
yeah.
fuck that noise. How
I
about this?
know.
I'm gonna go to my own country where no one's gonna rob me. That's
Well, I've heard that in every European country. I've heard that in Spain when I
Spain too,
did
yeah.
study abroad. They were like, "Oh yeah, you'll get pickpocketed." Italy, France. I've never been pickpocketed or robbed or anything. I also like this is a tip for ladies who travel. If I'm in Europe, I'm carrying a lot of cash and I'll just put it in my bra. Like I'm not gonna have it like in a purse that could be like ripped away from me.
Okay, so you don't want to tell people that because what you're saying is, hey,
I'm not.
criminals, if
I'm
you want my money,
I'm
you got to feel me up first. And
Are
that's not what
criminals
we want to say
listening
here,
to
okay?
this? What criminals are listening to this?
It's the internet. Everyone's a criminal, okay?
Look.
Every last person.
Sorry, Professor.
Yeah.
One of my old professors from my college listens to this show.
Oh,
Feel bad.
okay.
Well, now he knows. Now he knows.
Yeah,
He
but
might use this as an example, right?
I'll never go back to Rome, ever.
Did you have the opportunity to travel outside of Rome? So, I've been
Yeah, I
to.
was in Italy for a wedding. That's why I
Oh.
went. Because one of my friends had a destination wedding, which I think
Of
is
course.
offensive.
Are you still friends with that person? Because
No, I think a destination wedding is rude, and if you have one, you're out of your mind. Especially if it's in a place where you have no connection to. She's not even Italian. Like to
Oh,
me, I
fuck
consider
her.
it cultural
Wait,
appropriation
okay.
of my culture.
At what point does it become a destination wedding? Because like
Because what it is people want these they want these pictures. They're like,
No.
we're like in Italy. What?
What I'm asking is like, okay, so
At
let's
what point
say,
does it become a destination?
yeah, because like
When
if
you're
you invite
traveling?
somebody who lives in New York and you're in
No,
LA,
that's not a destination wedding.
okay, so a destination is what, out of the country?
It's like they're making you go to like either a difficult to reach place.
Okay.
You're like,
it's
or
mandatory
they're
travel
inconveniencing.
that you require identification for. Think about that way,
D4,
right?
there it is. Yeah.
Right. So like you have to go on, or you need to buy like tickets to go somewhere, right? Like something,
when
of.
When I hear destination wedding, I think either it's going to be tropical or it's going to be in a foreign country, right?
Okay.
See, I hear.
But I'm saying, like,
not
what about
that
something
friendly.
like Hawaii, which is a U.S. state? Isn't that a destination wedding?
Which one?
Hawaii.
Oh, I
Sure.
went to a wedding in Hawaii just 2 months ago.
But does that count
Like,
as a destination?
Yes, it does. And it was so
Okay.
fucking expensive and rude.
If they live in Hawaii, no. If
Yeah.
they're visiting Hawaii, yes, this is a destination wedding.
Okay,
Like,
so if
Yeah,
the
they
bride
don't
and
live
groom
there.
have to go to the place, then it's a
Right.
destination.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think you know that should be the definition. Sure. Yes. Mhm. Yeah. But if you're traveling to, let's say, New York, and that's where the bride and groom live, or that's where their family is from,
Yeah.
no, it's not a destination wedding. It's
Okay.
like
on what? Okay, so reasonably,
uh-huh.
to have to travel to somewhere like New York for a
Right.
wedding is
Yeah.
going to be an expensive thing.
Venture.
So wouldn't it make the most sense to be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna visit like outside of New York, and I'll just like train in for the wedding and train back out. Otherwise, you're like, it's just insane, right? Like,
I don't
last
know.
time I went,
You mean like stay in New Jersey and take the train to New York for the wedding?
You could.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have family in New York, so I would be willing to go to New York.
Then that's
fair.
same.
You know, but like going to Italy was like it was such a fucking pain in the ass. And also they had it at this ridiculous castle, which was like at
castle.
At one point it was like in the Borgia family or something, and I thought it was creepy as fuck. And it was
they watched that TV show.
Castles are fucking. Castles are disgusting. Okay, they are inhumane. They're moldy and mildewy because it's just stones stacked on top of each other with no insulation. They're not modern, and they're filled with bugs, and they're fucking gross. And we should not romanticize them. They're disgusting. They're a relic of the past.
The views discussed here on Generation Dan do not represent all the people on Generation Dan. I've been to many castles, and they've been fantastic. It's one person's experiences do not represent the thoughts and feelings of Generation Dan at all times. Just so everyone doesn't hold me guilty, because this person is saying stuff that she went to a bad castle. There are other beautiful castles.
No, I've been to plenty of castles. They're not livable in the modern day. No.
I like how you kept talking the entire time Dino was doing that bit.
It was perfect, Heather. You did it perfectly.
No,
I love it.
No,
I loved it.
Unless the castle is retrofitted with like modern things, it's useless. What is it? What is it for?
So I went to specifically Lee's Priory, which is in London. We went to a wedding there, and they have retrofitted. So it's actually you get married in like the one spire thing that's kind of like broken down, but it's a really cool place to get because you can have like people just sitting there and everything. And then they had retrofitted like a full kitchen and everything, and then we stayed the night, and it was ridiculous because my feet shot off all the way, like almost at the knee, shot off in the back.
Wait, they still had tiny furniture in there.
Well, he's like 6'4",
I'm humongous,
so everything's.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2", but I'm also
that's not that tall.
But I'm also 400 pounds, so I'm humongous. Like I'm built like the Kool-Aid Man.
Like, have you ever been to one of those castles where they still have the original furniture like preserved and stuff, and it's all tiny because the people were tiny and malnourished?
Yes,
and, like...
I call it only walking space. That's where no sitting, just I can walk through them.
I went to one in Spain where Ferdinand and Isabella lived, and like everything was like tiny.
It's like a Smurf castle too.
Yeah, but and then like the big event of the castle was you get to walk up this tower to where they used to keep prisoners. Okay,
this guy.
and so, no, it was very narrow, and they had a sign being like, if you have a heart condition, do not walk up these stairs. It was like 1,200 steps to the top. I did it, but I was 22 at the time, so you know.
I just love the idea of like a medieval prisoner being like chained to the wall, and they'll be like, "Look at it this way: in hundreds of years, people will come up here and see where you used to be chained to a wall. How you feel about that?"
They had no idea.
The first influencer was right there.
Their dark cave was going to be a tourist attraction. No, this is like the whole thing. They're like, oh, this is the the spire leading to the roof dungeon. It's like what? Like oh.
I feel like a roof dungeon is quite
well, because they would
right?
literally. I think what the thing is like it was like really punishment in the winter because they would like leave people up there to like fucking freeze and die. Isn't that crazy?
That is rough.
Castles are crazy.
They
are.
Also a good episode.
And also, let me ask you, the castle that you spent the night in, was it so damp and gross on the inside that there were like centipedes and shit all everywhere? Okay, thank you.
It was in pristine. It was in pristine condition, and it was wonderful. Like it was.
No, this Italian...
and it was an English castle, right? So like there was wood and stuff like so. It could not be damp. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, the Italian castle was like infested. Like it was just like disgusting. I mean, it looked.
Was it infested with Italians? Like, is that?
No, like there were like there were bugs everywhere.
Castles are crazy. Sometimes infested with Italians. I'm just gonna say.
I know.
I
was the only Italian person at this fucking wedding.
Italian.
It was like so ridiculous. Except maybe some of the staff were like Italian.
It was in Italy. I would bet that most of the staff were Italian. Just in general.
No, I mean a lot of people who worked in the wedding photographer was British. Like he flew in for the wedding.
Okay, so you have some awesome friends. I don't
No.
know. They should have paid for like a Lamborghini to pick you up or something.
They
You should have really minced it up.
Oh, that's my number one complaint about the wedding is that there was no transportation arranged from the hotel to the venue, and people had to walk on this very dangerous road where it curved, and like if somebody easily could have gotten fucking killed. Like if like a car came around the curve and hit you while you were walking.
Everyone dies in Italy. Don't worry about it. Nobody
anyway,
talks
no.
God
If
damn
I
it,
have
that's
a
a good
wedding,
title, too.
if I have a wedding, I'm going to have transportation for the guests from wherever they're coming.
Right on.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Well,
that's the line.
Yeah, because she literally the photographer was so fucking expensive. When she told me how much they spent on the photographer, I was just like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Apparently, she is. So that's
because you spent
a couple.
You spent all the money on the photographer and none of the money on like making your guests comfortable.
It maybe that's their origin story when they become supervillains.
No, because the thing about a wedding is like you're hosting something that people should enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same idea.
Your wedding, either way. So.
But listen, if you have a wedding with the expectation of people giving you anything, period, don't get married. Just stop. Okay? Because I invited people to enjoy in my celebration.
Yeah.
If they choose to bring a gift or to give some money to help the couple, that's a wonderful thing. But no, I want everyone to enjoy the party. That's what we're here for. That's how I roll.
Yeah, I enjoy it. The damn castle.
Well, apparently. Not the roommates, though. They were the worst. So
the bugs?
Yeah. Oh. Thank you so much for coming on Generation Dan. We have one more question for you.
Oh.
First, where can people find and follow you and all that good stuff?
Oh my god. Well, I'm on Twitter, and Twitter is my favorite social media. Can I just say that?
Sure, yeah.
I'm unwell.
I like it better than Instagram, that's for sure.
No, Instagram is dead. Like, there's nothing on there. But follow me on Instagram. I do need more followers.
At what? What are the handles?
At Fixed Air Heather.
Okay.
On Twitter and Instagram. And on TikTok, unfortunately.
All dances. No.
Unruly Marulli.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a hell of a username.
Yeah.
You can follow us at Generation Dan on Twitter, Generation_Dan on Instagram. Follow me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram, or my other podcast at Nexus at Night in those same places. That's about a trading card game, but that's neither here nor there. How about you, Dino?
Oh, you can find me at Dino the Genetic Marvel everywhere. Right now, I'm on a little bit of a kick. I'm building a whole bunch of Lego stuff. So, like right near, I'm building Lego Ecto 1. It's actually fantastic.
Oh, wow.
It's got an insane amount of detail. I'm just having a great time. I build like Optimus Prime, Thor's hammer, all sorts of wild stuff. I just bought James Bond DB5 from the new movie, and I'm like, yeah, because it's been a weird experience, and I'm just having fun. People have started complaining. They're like, hey, you need to show us how you built this magnificent thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, just calm down, everybody. Weird, but yeah, just Google me. If you're not willing to do that, I didn't like you in the first place, so just fuck off. So.
And then, even though he's not here, he'll be back next week. Follow Caleb at Caleb C. McDuff on Twitter.
He had to unload trucks tonight.
Yeah, because the man won't let him come home at a reasonable hour.
That's how it's working.
But being that you're also a comedian, what's a memorable set that you've had? Good, bad, weird, otherwise?
I mean, I would say that like I've done so many, and so many are just like whatever, because like so many are just like practice,
That's
know.
True. Yeah.
But I'd say like the most memorable sets I've had is when like a comic I admire has watched me and they laugh.
That's
nice.
Good.
And that has meant a lot to me. Like I remember the first time I did that was, do you know Laurie Kilmartin? She saw me do stand up at the Comedy Store in the Belling Room, and like she was laughing, and I was like, oh, I should do this.
That's right.
I should continue doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, you do thousands of sets, and then like every once in a while you're like, yeah, fucking hit it out of the park. And that's the way it should be. You should have like your great fucking sets are going to be far and few between, honestly. You're gonna have good sets most of the time, but the great ones you're gonna remember.
Oh yeah, a lot of that time that requires like, look, you have to have a good host, a good MC, a comic.
Yeah,
Like
everything has to go right.
Yeah,
good crowd, good room.
And even like good service from the bartenders. You don't have waiters who are walking, standing right in front of the stage and shit like that. Where you're going, yeah, that's just the worst possible thing, right? So all those things kind of come together, and you're like, oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a fair one. Fun.
Exactly.
Well, thanks again, Heather Marulli, and thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.